What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to a greatest episode in Colts football, the Sick Podcast Anvil Show, coming to you live. We've got a 53-man roster for the year that is set, but it's not set in stone. So tonight we're going to go over Newit's and oh damn, I didn't see that coming. Anyways, Sammy, let's start it up, baby.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast. Anvil Show.
Intercepted! Marlon Jackson! Marlon's got it! We're going to the Super Bowl! We're going to the Super Bowl! Marlon Jackson with the interception! He picked off Tom Brady!
The sickest Indianapolis Colts podcast. It's gonna be sick.
What's going on, everybody? As you can see, I got my brothers with me tonight. I got both of them. I'm still missing one. He's still deployed, so we're going to continue to pray for Clyde and all our soldiers overseas. Gentlemen, we got a pretty fun show scheduled tonight. I'm really excited to hear everybody's input on the roster cuts, but we have to be adults. And right now we got to pay some bills. Acosta, let's pay some homage.
Let's do it. Guys, if you have not checked out this website yet, please do. Homage specializes in ultra comfy, high quality looks, reppy, sports, pop culture, and more. I mean, when I say these shirts and hoodies and pants are comfortable, boy, they sure are comfortable. They want to put me to sleep if I put one on. That's how comfortable they are. Also relive every legendary moment in there as well. They got a little bit for everybody, so go in there, especially a lot of retro stuff. I love the retro stuff, by the way. I'll be looking more into that. But if you want to learn more about Homage, there's a link in our description. Just hit that thing or hit that bitch, as I should say. And we actually have another one coming up. Chris, what do you got for us?
Yeah. So actually, and I mean, we got a chance to see. I don't know if anybody saw. I actually took a lot of delight in watching Florida State lose to Georgia Tech last week. But I mean, that was just the appetizer last week. All right, now is time to truly feast because football isn't just back in terms of NFL. College football is back. So don't miss any of the action. Jump in at DraftKings Sportsbook. Basically, it's just a full slate of games for week one. I mean, the possibilities are endless, including the big matchup in Atlanta between the preseason number 1 and number 16. This is going to be DraftKings' biggest football season to date. So enjoy the ride. Now, all the way through the extended playoffs, you'll be able to bet on every single game throughout the season. Plus, all the newbies getting into the college spirit. I mean, I was never really a big college football guy myself, but I like it a little bit more now. So, for people like myself and you, if you're new to college football, there's something extra special. The new DraftKings customers, when you bet $5, you actually get $200 in bonus bets instantly. So that's on the spot. All right. So score big with DraftKings all college football season long. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code 6sports. That's SICKSPORTS, all one word. That's code 6sports for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. And only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. If you do have any gambling problems, please call 1-800 Gambler. In New York, call 1-877-8-HOPE-NEW YORK or HOPE and Y. That's 467-369. I hope I didn't mess that up. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. And on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 160 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming sources, see dkng.co/ft ball. Yeah, that's a lot. But yeah, y'all get the drift. Y'all just go to DraftKings, download Sportsbook and all that good stuff. Okay, 6 sports. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? All right, cool.
I'm going to need you to read all that again, please.
Yeah, no, we're not doing that again. That was a nightmare. That was a nightmare. Okay, let's just get that out the way. Okay, yeah, that's
Hey, good thing we had you do it, because I would
yeah.
tore
Once
up all
again-
those words.
I mean,
Once
Pat-
again,
Anyways.
that was diabolical.
Sick is DraftKings and Sick is also doing a little something different this year, and it's called Sick Picks. So you can take one pick, say Michael Pittman Jr. anytime TD, and you can make a bet on that, and you win your money. So, anyways, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use code SICKSPORTS. New customers get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. And look for the Sick Pick and make your pick. That way, you know what? And it's pretty cool because you don't have to know everything there is to know about gambling and sports gambling. You can just say, yeah, I'm pretty sure Pittman's getting a touchdown today. Make your bet, win you some money. Easy peasy. There you go.
Hey,
I would take advantage of that if they allowed sports betting in Missouri. But it sucks out here. So.
Man, you're all behind the times down there.
I know. Are you guys allowed to do anything
Well, you can buy marijuana
besides work
legally
and breathe?
here. Yeah,
Medical or recreational?
Huh?
Medical or recreational?
Both of them.
Oh,
No med card needed.
No.
okay.
Well,
Yeah.
gentlemen, we got one more bit of news I want to share with the world. And let's get it out of the way before we get going into our topics. So, everybody knows Acosta drives a truck for the post office. His hours are freaking weird. This man has to get up at 1 o'clock in the morning to get ready to go to work. So, now that season is starting and our shows are increasing through the week, Acosta is not going to be physically able to do all the shows all the time. His health is important. Kind of like my big guy. I need him around. So, what we're going to do is we're going to bring in Chris full time. So, everybody, please welcome Mr. Chris Jackson officially to the Anvil, and keep saying a prayer for Acosta's health, because that's just stupid ass hours. You need a new job, Bubba. I'm just saying that right now. But anyways, Acosta's not going nowhere. His duties are changing, so you're going to see him less here on our weekly shows, but you're going to see him every home game, because he is now a home game host. So starting this year, we're going to do live shows every game, every home game. And Acosta's still going to be there. He's still going to be enjoying everything, and we're not going to kill him. So now that we got that out of the way,
Just call me Pat
Acosta?
McAfee, baby.
oh, we gonna trump up old Pat. We're gonna show him what the real deal is. If I can get my daggum screen right.
What were you going to say a second ago, Bubba?
I don't remember.
Of course.
I really and truly don't. But anyways, gentlemen, our 53-man roster is down, but it's not in stone. Who is your biggest surprise in the cut field? Chris.
Mike Abraham. If we're being completely and utterly honest, Mike Abraham, even in the limited time that he had, he showed that he could absolutely play. And if we're being completely honest, probably I'm gonna say one of the position groups that's the most lacking is the cornerback room. And so to cut a guy who has that promise, and at that time you kept on Dallas Flowers and Darrell Baker Jr., it didn't make sense. And to me right now it still doesn't make sense, because we have our 15 on the practice squad, and he's not one of the people that's on the 15. So yeah, that was I still don't get it. But
Do you think something happened behind the scenes that we don't know about or haven't heard about that created that decision?
I doubt it because
I'm the other way. I think something did, because what you just said, he did show out. He showed out at camp. He showed out in the preseason's games. We've known what he can do.
I get like so for me the biggest issue that I have with that is normally if there's anything that's like that's like an issue or something might have happened, normally those guys get cut like immediately. And so, there was no real reports of anything coming out. I think the only thing that we heard was that there was something that might have happened with Ronnie Harrison was the reason why he ended up getting cut. So, I mean, if so, okay, that makes sense. But when it came down to Micah Abraham, that didn't make a lick of sense. Because, I mean, like I said, it's just like he'd been performing. He'd been doing everything that he did. Him and Jalen Simpson got cut at the same time, but they brought back Jalen Simpson. So I don't know exactly what the thought process was behind it. It doesn't make sense. Like I just don't get it. And, if not for the sake of parity, making sure that you actually have another corner in that room. We had 5 corners going into the 53-man roster, and Darrell Baker Jr. got cut after he made the 53, which he probably shouldn't have made the 53 to begin with, and then just found out Dallas Flowers today somehow hurt his hamstring. So now we're down to 3. If this Flowers thing ends up being more than a week or 2.
Mm-hmm. Acosta, who's your big surprise?
I'm going to go with Jason Bean.
Okay.
The kid performed very well. All right. I'm going to be that elephant in the room right now. Sam has done well for us with his time here. He's done what he can here. His decision-making is not the best. He has hit and miss good ball placement. He's not consistent. What we see from Bean, all that and more. He's on our practice squad, but you know what, though? I think he deserved a roster spot. I really do. He proved himself well. Sam was still being Sam. I see the same old Sam that his rookie season, second season. I'm seeing everything that he still has been. And I hate to call him a has-been, but he is. Does he deserve to be somewhere? Absolutely. He's a talented quarterback. He's small, but he is talented. He needs time to develop somewhere else. He's tried here. Maybe he'll work better in a better offense somewhere else. But Bean was definitely my surprise cut at first, even though he's on our practice squad now. So I hope Bean actually moves up. But that's definitely my surprise cut.
He did seem to have quite a few more tangibles to his game.
Yeah.
Than, the other guy. I just lost his name.
Bellinger?
Sam, yeah. This is why I don't read stuff. But yeah, I agree with you. He did seem to have quite a few tangibles, and it was nice seeing him be able to look over the offensive line.
Yeah.
Known as tippy toes.
Yeah.
And the kid's got a pair of legs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He really does. I'm going to go with Evan Hall.
Mm-hmm.
I really thought he showed great promise last year in training camp. Now, I know he got hurt that first game, but seeing him in training camp this year, plus some preseason games, I thought he did well enough to make the roster. Now, I'm not saying that was an easy decision between the 3 they kept, between JT, Sherman, and Goodson.
Mm-hmm.
And then you want to keep Hall too. Keeping 4 running backs on the roster is going to be pretty hard. So I'm not saying neither of those 3 deserve to be cut over Hall. It just really surprised me because he's young. He's on a rookie deal. Keeping him on the practice squad, somebody can come scoop him up.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, so and the same way with Bean. You know, if somebody's looking for a young quarterback on a rookie deal that they can develop, man, they're going to scoop him up quick.
Yeah. But I think the other part of that is Jason Bean being on the practice squad actually isn't really necessarily a bad thing. And the
No,
only
no, no, no.
reason and the only reason why, and I'm gonna say just from a practice perspective, because he kind of fits the mold of how like some of the younger quarterbacks are in terms of having like a bigger arm, in terms of being able to be a little bit more mobile. And having that in practice is going to I'm going to say it's going to sharpen the defense, because it's going to show you what you're going to deal with, because you're going to be dealing with a lot of that throughout the season. I mean, the first games that we play are going to be against CJ Stroud. It's going to be against Caleb Williams. We're also going to have to go against Jordan Love. You have to go against Will Levis, who I believe are all within that kind of mold where you're dealing with quarterbacks that have good arms, but then they also have a certain amount of mobility. And being able to go up against that in practice, especially with this defense, is going to make sure that you're not necessarily falling victim to what you believe it's going to be in terms of pocket passers and guys that aren't going to be elusive. I think Caleb Williams spent pretty much the whole preseason making highlights off of running out of the pocket and then just making passes on the fly. So,
Yep.
I think it's going to be something that is going to be a great thing. And then, I mean, I could see him honestly just either possibly just maybe being this year if he stays on the practice squad, and then eventually moving up, because I think Flacco's pretty much on a 1-year rental anyway.
I agree with that absolutely. And who knows if they're going to re-sign Sam? I think after this year, his contract's up.
It is.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. So will they keep him? Will they not? You know, we'll find out.
And I mean, maybe that is the reason why they kept him. Maybe they want to see in his contract year if he's going to progress and get better, or is he going to stay the same?
Yeah, but that's the thing. You know, you've got a good quality kid here, and you're putting him on the practice squad, which means he could be taken by somebody
snatched
else.
up easily.
Oh,
yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, no waiver wires, no this, no that. Hey, Sam, come on, we want you. I'm gone.
Mm-hmm.
Or not Sam, but Jason. It's Jason Bean, right?
Jason Bean, yeah.
Yeah.
And you're all over the place tonight.
Man, I'm telling you, man, it's been a long day, busy. But
Get
it's
your
good.
shit together.
God is good, so I've got no complaints. But anyways, that's what worries me about Bean, is that he could get snatched up. Now I agree with you, Chris. You know, having a bigger presence on the practice squad that our defense can look at as far as what we're going to be facing next week.
Yeah.
That's a good thing. That's absolutely a good thing. But the bad part about all that is somebody can snatch him up.
Yeah.
You know, and with keeping 4 quarterbacks, are they dressing 3?
I mean, I would
If you're
believe
dressing 3 quarterbacks, you're taking a spot away from a talent guy, either special teams or rotating piece, something.
Yeah, I mean, but the thing I think a lot of our guys, the ones who made the 53, I mean, I think the majority of them are going to be on there. But I honestly, I don't see them dressing more than 2 at a time, especially with the new rule, like that new rule that they introduced and then vetoed. That was kind of meant to be that way. I think that's also the reason why Bean probably didn't make it onto the roster, since they got rid of that rule before it even began.
Which I was in agreement with that rule. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Where you can dress a 3rd quarterback without taking a roster spot.
It would have been fantastic, but I don't get the reasoning why they would choose not to go forward with that. But I mean, it's the NFL. Who knows?
It's true.
Things are constantly changing in this damn league nowadays.
Yeah.
Now, was there any surprise keeps for you guys?
I mean, no. It's all pretty much our same squad. Pittman, said it was an honor today to be a captain. We got a couple of moving parts there. But no, I mean, it's the same team, like Ballard said, which was a hot topic over the last couple of days. he believes in what he's doing. He believes in their mission. He believes in everything that they're doing. If he gets fired for believing what he believes in, so be it. And that's exactly what he's doing. It even goes down to the 53-man roster right now. Yeah, he got rid of 1 5th-round pick, 6th and 7th-round pick. Okay, I'm going to address that real quick. If they couldn't perform, regardless if they're a draft pick or not, I'm sorry, there's no participation trophies. You make the roster or you don't. You make the practice squad or you don't.
Absolutely. And that's what's crazy to me is now that everybody's rosters have been set, they made their cuts, they made their releases. I'm seeing other teams that have first and second round guys from 2 to 3 years ago getting cut because they just didn't work out. Yeah. So, that brings up a great point. Do you stick it out because you picked them at, in the 3rd round? Or do you go ahead and cut them because, hey, you're not performing like we thought you was going to?
Well, in the same token as well, there's the whole prodigy aspect with the whole thing going on in Buffalo right now with Frank Gore Jr. All because of who his dad was. Does that mean he gets a roster spot? Does that mean he gets a practice squad spot because he's who he is? No. His name is Frank Gore, yes. But clearly he didn't perform like his dad did.
Yeah.
And it's a big thing just all because of his name, and it's it just is what it is, and people ain't liking it.
I'm gonna be on the kind of opposite side of things because the only reason why is just because like we talked about like the 5th, 6th, 7th round, but year in and year out, Chris Ballard is adamant about trading down because he likes to get those extra guys. So the problem that I have with that is, like my philosophy is just like when you go into the offseason has to be a good mixture of free agency, draft, and then like some undrafted guys, practice squad guys, whatever you may find. He's solely relying on the draft and the undrafted guys. So the thing is, when you're frequently trading down, you're frequently trading back in rounds, knowing that you're going to be going after other guys. The issue that you then have is when you get rid of a 5th, 6th, and 7th round pick, when you were trading down to get more of those 5th, 6th, 7th round picks, that means that you're essentially getting rid of that currency that you were using in order, if you were going to do that, you could have just stayed where you were at. And I mean, honestly, it's
get you a lock pick.
So I think it'll do you much better to go and do that. Like, even if you're not going to go like for example, anybody who generally trades up, let's just say if you go up from like the 3rd round into the late 2nd round, generally you're trading some of those late picks. And mind you, this isn't he got rid of the 5th, 6th, and 7th round pick from this year. Not last draft, but the draft beforehand. That was the one where he drafted Sean Davis out of Florida, drafted him, and then got rid of him. Even prior to the cuts, and he got rid of a couple other guys. So
that's the cornerback that Jalen Jones beat out, isn't it?
No, not last year. I'm talking about the year before last.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was a safety. That guy was a safety. But then, like I said, it's just like we're frequently trying to get those draft picks. And he said that. He said, I love those draft picks. I love those draft picks. But like it's not translating. And to me, it's just like that's where there's the issue because you're trading back frequently to get extra picks, and then you just got rid of half of your draft almost. And we still are thin at cornerback, which, I mean, honestly, and I'm going to say not even a surprise cut, but if we're being honest, I mean, Darrell Baker Jr. made the 53-man roster and then got cut the next day. I don't know. I don't understand it. It doesn't make sense. But then also Taven Bryan. I don't know why Taven Bryan's still there because he's just taking up space.
Well, I'll remind you, Zaire Franklin was a 7th round pick.
Oh, and that's fine.
And
that's fine.
On the opposite of that, he may not have got cut, but look at Tim Tebow. They thought he was going to be the next Peyton Manning or Tom Brady coming into the league. And what he do?
Well, that was a major reach because we knew that Tim Tebow, as good as he was in Florida, was not going to translate to the league.
But my point was there's some players that's just not going to adjust to league play. And I think that's what happened. Their football IQ might have been lower than expected, than what was on paper, than on the field. It could have been the more proactive plays that they run in the NFL. They couldn't have got it, comprehended it. I mean, Mike Strong was a good example of that too.
Yeah,
he looked promising as a talent, but he could not understand the playbook, and that's why he's not with us anymore.
I'll date myself. Brian Bosworth.
Boss.
If anybody remembers that guy,
Yeah.
Ryan Leaf. He was a second pick.
Yeah,
in that '98 draft, and he did not translate at all to the NFL.
Oh yeah,
so it happens.
Yeah,
you as those scouts, GMs, and everybody else, they do their homework, and they take their best picks from their homework and see if it works out. Sometimes it does, sometimes it don't. So for anybody to think that a GM is going to hit home runs on every pick, that's unrealistic.
Oh yeah,
because these guys still have to get to this level. They still have to elevate their game, and they still have to make the team.
Yeah,
and sometimes it could be the player's fault, or could be outside circumstances to where their head's just not into it during training camp.
Yeah.
Mom's going through this, or dad's doing this, or my girl's pregnant, and I need to be home. There's all kinds of circumstances that will mess with a man's mind.
Yeah.
And maybe they get caught up in that. I don't know. We're not flies on the wall, and we're just stabbing at things here, but I don't blame one or the other. During this time. To me, it is the way it is because of performance and performance only. Now they did their homework. They thought this third round pick or fifth or sixth or seventh or second or first would play out and work out, and it didn't. So again, do you hold on to it because that was your second or third round pick and you don't want to look stupid? Or do you want to look stupid because that pick isn't performing?
Yeah. And I mean, honestly, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, I'm going to play devil's advocate here real quick. And I'm not saying it's just an example. I believe in this kid with everything I got. But Latu, for example, he's so-called the steal of the draft for us, right? He looked good in training camp, looked good in OTAs, rookie minicamp. He's looked great up until this point, but what if something happens where he doesn't perform throughout the season? Then what? He's a first-round draft pick.
Yeah. I mean, I think when it comes to the draft, you never know. I mean, because the thing is guys have to fit into a scheme. Guys have to go out there and perform and do what it is that they're going to do. And then, I mean, not even to mention the fact that, I mean, injuries happen as well. But I guess my harshest criticism in terms of the team building aspect is the fact that the team building is only being done through the draft. And if we're only doing things through the draft, which we know for a fact isn't necessarily a surefire thing, because you're not going to go, if you draft 8 guys in the draft, it's going to be very hard for somebody to go 8-8.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is,
it's free agency a guarantee?
I don't think free agency.
That was going to be that's actually going to be part of my next question to you, Chris, was, are you one of those that say we need to attack free agency a little bit better?
I don't think it's an attack where I just feel like you need to go and get 6-7 guys out of free agency and be spending $100 million, or let's just say if you have $70 million just to spend it all in free agency. What I am saying is that, you have certain things that you can potentially do. I know, Pat, when we went and we spoke to Chris Ballard, we talked to him about Justin Simmons, and we asked him about Quandre Diggs. And when we're talking about it, we were thinking okay, these Justin Simmons is going to be asking for 2 years for $20 million a year. And I mean, both him and Quandre Diggs signed for, I think, a combined, 13 million between the two of them.
Yeah, something like that. It was under 20. That for sure.
Well under. And then on top of that,
Go ahead.
yeah, like Eddie Jackson signed a 1-year deal with the Ravens. I think 1 year's like 7-8 million. You know, you had Jeremy Chin, who was from Carolina, 1 year, 5 million. So the thing is, even if you're not sure about it, and if you get these guys in on a 1-year deal, you've had safeties who, if you weren't sure about the safety room, you go ahead and you bring somebody in on a 1-year deal and you see what you have. Now we're going to go and see what we have in terms of Nick Cross, but then also, like I said, injuries, and I'm not, like I said, I don't want to keep on talking it up, but also we have to be very honest. This is a team that for some reason ends up hurt a lot every single year.
Mm-hmm.
And so the thing is, so after Nick Cross and Julian Blackmon, who essentially are going to be starting safeties, you have Rodney Thomas II and Michael Tutsi.
Mm-hmm.
Have we seen Michael Tutsi play at all?
Not really.
Does anybody know who Michael Tutsi was before I said Michael Tutsi?
No.
I mean, I knew who he was, but I can't say I've actually see him play.
Yeah, so like I said, if we're not going to, like, and I'm not saying that we need to sign people for 3 years, 50 million, because I mean that's ridiculous. But I mean, it's just like I said, it's just like having a good mixture of veterans on every level and having your draftees. To me, it's just like that's a perfect formula, perfect scenario.
I mean, I definitely agree with you with the whole Simmons scenario, because when I think of that scenario, it's a steal for $8 million for a year contract. When you signed Stephon Gilmore 2 years ago for a 1-year deal at $12 million.
It was a 2-year deal.
It was 2 years,
or 2 year, yeah. And
Yeah.
he rested a trade after that. So, but I get it though. 2 year, $12 million, but you're looking at 1 year, $8 million. To me, that's not a big difference. Not a big difference at all.
I'll remind you guys and everybody else, a free agent doesn't have to come here.
No. Oh, no.
A free agent does not have to take a deal that you offer him. So, does it mean that the organization and Chris didn't go after him, or they did and just couldn't get the deal done? I don't know. Well, and we only get privy to what the national media puts out. Like old boy that went to Houston, that they came out and said that the Colts actually offered them more money than Houston did, but he wanted to be at home.
Yeah.
So just because we didn't get Diggs or we didn't get anybody else doesn't mean they didn't try.
Yeah.
Now, in the same sense, I'm not saying that they did try. I'm just saying it also says that they did or didn't. We just don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's also the same instance. Like, everyone was pretty pissed off about us not trying to bring, a legacy back to Indianapolis, which was Marvin Harrison Jr. But come to find out, off of Hard Knocks, we tried, and the Giants didn't go for what we offered.
Yeah. I mean, but I think there's a stark difference between trying to trade up from 15 to 4, because I mean, trying to trade up 15 to 4 means that you're giving up a lot of draft capital. I mean, you're looking at the first that year, the second, and then you're looking at the first for the following year, and you're talking about for one wide receiver, and then on top of that, we still wouldn't have had an edge rusher because we would have had to wait until the third round to go ahead and get anybody.
Yep.
So, I mean, in hindsight, yes, you want Marvin Harrison Jr. Of course you do. But I think that's a little bit that's less realistic because, like I said, you have to give up a lot. And we knew that Chris Ballard, as much as he would have done or wanted to, it's just like that much draft capital is, in a lot of cases, like that's a lot to overcome. So
I agree. Yeah, the price of some of these guys is outrageous.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely.
So, all right, boys, who else you want to talk about?
talk a little bit about that press conference yesterday.
All right, go ahead.
Because that was
Hey,
I'll be honest, like
Ballard passively did this. Is what he did.
yeah. It's you almost know it's like when Chris Ballard goes up there, it's almost like a laugh track. Like, we're going to get the questions about, the secondary and everything, and then he's just like, oh, they're young guys and they need to play to get better. And it's like, okay, all right, we get it. I do want to say, it's just like one of the guys, I think James Boyd, he just asked him straight out. He was just like, listen, there have been no division titles. You're 54, 60, and 1 since in your tenure. Like, do you feel like you're on the hot seat right now? And then that led him to talk about the fact he's just like, listen, I go according to what I believe in. And I mean, we know he's a man of conviction. Like, we know that, him having those things that he believes it's a big thing. But also at the same time, it's just like, I think it all just also speaks to that stubbornness that, you're unwilling to pivot in a way to make sure that it's just like that things are happening a little bit differently. And I mean, from different people, whether it be group chats, timelines, whatever, they're just looking like he really don't give a damn. Like, like he clearly doesn't care. Like, it didn't make sense.
I mean, I commemorated him for that. I really did. He's sticking to his guns. You don't see people do that no more. They conform to everything else that people want to do, but he's sticking to what he believes in. And you have nothing but respect for that. I mean, will it work as a fan base? Do we want to see success? Absolutely. But, I want to see people also, I want to see their moral standard. Chris Ballard's holding to that moral standard by believing in what he's doing, believing what his team's doing, believing what his office is doing. And same with the coaches. They're doing what they doing what they know how. Mm-hmm. And it's not what we like, but they're sticking to it. And that's one of the things I love about this organization. We're about character. We're about morals. We're about all this stuff. Does it bring championships? Not all the time. Yeah. Here lately, absolutely not.
Hey, Shammy, bring up Brittany's comment. Last one.
Football, at the end of the day, is an emotional sport. It's a very emotional sport.
Yeah.
And you have to, you got to respect people the way they do. Vince Lombardi, one of the greatest coaches of all time, he believed in something. He believed in how he coached, and look what he did. I know it's a big difference between this and that, but you know what? That's just the example I'm saying. He believed in something and it worked. Sometimes you believe in something and it doesn't work, but you got to respect what they're doing. It's an emotional sport.
I'm good as far as his convictions go. And I understand like why he goes about things the way that he goes about them. But I mean, the league now has changed. And the league now has pivoted to where now we see like offensively, you have to be able to adapt. And for me, it's just like Shane Steichen, 100% adaptable coach. He's going to go and he's going to put concepts out there. I think one of the quotes that he had from today was that it's just like, how much of the offense did you see? He said you didn't see any of it. Because that's what he does in terms of how he's able to adapt. I think with Chris Ballard, I like the fact that he sticks to his morals and he sticks to his guns because he's somebody who makes sure that you're not dealing with people who are headaches, who are potential flight risk, who are potential, issues when it comes down to it. I think they had Isaiah McKenzie and Tony Brown. They had a dust up. We don't even know what that was about. We just know that they were gone and we didn't see them the rest of the season. They were off the team. But when it comes down to the morals and convictions, I get that and I understand. But when it comes down to the conviction side of things, we can speak to that all day. But the thing is it not possibly affecting the product if we're choosing to only go one way all the time?
You're not wrong,
I was gonna say let Pat speak on his daddy.
but but you're not fully right either. And I say this only because we're not there. We're not
Yeah.
there at every practice. We're not seeing what's making him so convinced that this team is the team he wants. We don't know what the coaching and the coaching staff is coming into his office saying, hey, he really does this really well, so we're going to start scheming this way. Hey, this guy does this, so we're going to start blending this into that. You see what I'm saying? We just see that he didn't get this guy. He didn't draft that guy. That's what we see.
Yeah.
And I think we have to sit, and this is the hardest part of being a fan. We have to sit back and watch it all develop, not having all the information that he has. And it's extremely hard for a fan. And then, okay, say Jalen Jones just has a shit game. You know, it happens. I'm sorry. Peyton Manning's had shit games. Patrick Mahomes
just had a shit preseason game.
Yeah, everybody can have a shit game. And you can't stop it. When the shit hits you, it just hits you. You got to get through it and shake it off for the next week. Okay? So us as fans, we don't want to see a shit game, but if we see it, we're like, see, I knew I was right. See, Ballard sucks because he didn't bring in any free agents. He didn't do this. He didn't do that.
That's
but
exactly
we can't.
What's happening.
We can't do that with one shit game from this player or that player, or hell, the whole team. You know, every time we go down to Jacksonville for the last 11 damn years, the whole team has a damn shit game. What are you going to do? You're going to fire the whole damn team? Start completely over? No. You go back, you wash the shit off, and you get ready for next week. And that's
AR's your best example right now of that. Everybody called for his fucking head after a preseason start.
Yeah. I mean, come on.
The boy's going to be inconsistent. Yeah, he's not had very many snaps. Yes, he's been hurt. Yes. I agree with all that. But he's got to get in there. He's got to get his reps in. He's got to develop. You don't give him a chance to develop, he's not going to be what you want him to be. That's why I said in a post the other day, I think it was on my personal post, Peyton Manning was the same way. Everybody called for his head after his rookie season. Colts record 27 interceptions in his rookie year. And even had up and down seasons after that for the first 5 years. But they believed in him, and they knew who he was as a person. They knew what he was as a football player. And guess what? Now he's in the conversation of being one of the GOATs of football. Period.
Factual. That's actual factual. But anyways, we got a few minutes. Sammy, you want to bring up some questions? Get this chat involved. They've been real busy tonight.
Oh, yeah, they've been super busy.
And we love it.
There's not been a lot of questions, though.
Just a lot of statements.
Yeah, but I will say real quick, this has been a comment quite some time ago. Sean Winters threw up a fist bump on there. Sean Winters was an old high school teammate of mine. Shout out to him. Actually, I'll give you all a little backstory real quick as some questions come in. Guys, just ask some questions. Just filling in some space here. So I played with Sean in high school, but where I grew up around here, we didn't have any high school teams around us, official high school teams. We had varsity, what they called a varsity youth league. They had middle school youth league. They had, elementary youth league, all of that stuff that people are used to seeing. So we didn't have that, but it was put on our shoulders to prove to the school board that this town, which I'm talking about Henryville, Indiana at the time, Henryville, Indiana schools deserved a football team. People wanted to play football, but they didn't want to bring it here. So we said, we're going to start a youth league. We're going to have a varsity level, and we're going to prove to you that we can. Well, fast forward, we did it, and we went. The year I played was the first year of it, and then I graduated. But so the next with both seasons that I had played with teammates, we went undefeated. We went toe-to-toe with a 6A school in Louisville, Kentucky in a scrimmage. And they expected to blow us out even in a scrimmage. But what I'm trying to say is, as of the other day, Henryville School Corporation officially has a school team now.
Nice.
We officially did it. So I just wanted to put that out there. Shout out to Sean. Shout out to everybody on that Henryville team that busted their ass to do what we had to do to get these kids playing. Because now Sean's kids are playing for Henryville. Now our boy Devin Dennison, his boys are playing for Henryville. So it's just great to see, now our kids getting able to play for a school system that believes in football and believes in what we did back in the day. So shout out to them guys. And just so everybody knows, y'all, H unit for life, baby. H unit for life.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Nice.
Anyways, back to the show. Adam J said,
I had to give that shout out. I'm sorry.
Adam J said, quite a few of our Colts have been signed elsewhere. That says something for those we kept. Just saying. Absolutely.
Well,
Absolutely. Go ahead.
I think one thing that I can always take solace in is the fact that the Titans are always going to pick up players that we cut. And they picked up Darryl Baker Jr.
Well,
and generally, whenever they pick up guys that we get rid of, they don't do very well. So
they also pick up people who eat mayonnaise and everything that they fucking drink and eat.
Well, yeah, I mean they're a bunch of mayo eating sister kissers. So I mean, it's just like,
hey, I love it.
So I mean, it is what it
Sorry,
is. Like,
Sammy.
we know what it is.
All right. Now, Mark's asking, did anyone pick up Abram? I
No,
have not seen that.
no, not yet. No.
Not yet.
Good. Going down. Teresa says, did they put Treadwell on the practice squad? And 2, why the hell are Bitt and Elliger? I see 2 quarterbacks who should have took a spot.
Yes, so Treadwell is on the practice squad.
Okay.
And let me see. Seen 2 quarterbacks who should have took a spot. I honestly think Sam is he's just the most familiar. To be honest, I really have no clue. I said it the other day. I was just like, Sam Ehlinger might have the same dirt on the Colts front office that Marvin Lewis had on the Bengals all those years, because they couldn't get rid of that man to save their lives. But he was just there. Like 5-11, he was there. 10-6, he was there.
Okay. Now Rex says the third quarterback can be active game day, but doesn't count as an active player. That, Chris, correct me if I'm wrong, but that rule was brought back, right? It got vetoed. So they cannot do that this year.
Yeah, so they repealed the rule even after they voted for it. So that is no longer a thing.
Okay.
So while you're looking, Pat, here's a question actually for the viewers, real quick. With Jelani Woods having 2 IR years in a row, and the panel can elaborate on this too. Jelani Woods having 2 IR years in a row, should he have been cut?
No.
Yeah, because you're still looking at his potential.
Mm-hmm. And I think you also saw that he is able to play. I mean, he is able to go out there, because, I mean, his rookie year, I think the only time that he didn't play was when he was actually physically not put in on the depth chart. So the thing is, these last 2 seasons, it's unfortunate. Yeah, injuries happen, but also at the same time, that you absolutely can do, like, you do have somebody who can ball, but he just hasn't been able to stay on the field consistently.
Okay. Now here's one from Adam. He says, Chris Ballard's been building the same monster since before Atticus was born. That's his son. How much waiting do we got to do? LOL. Well, since we're not in charge, we got to wait until he decides to do something different.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, I don't think I've skipped anybody's questions up to here. Sean says, has Tyler Huntley signed anywhere yet as a backup? Yeah. God, who picked him up? I'm going blank, but yeah, I believe somebody did pick him up. I'll have to do some.
Someone did.
Yeah, I'll have to pick up some, do a little bit of research on that one, Sean. But I could have swore I read where somebody picked him up.
I didn't.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe
I don't think Huntley got picked up. I know that he just got released today, but I don't think that he just got signed. Yeah, no, they didn't. So basically, they released him so that they could re-sign Deontay Foreman because they originally had cut Foreman, and then they cut Huntley to make room for Foreman. So yeah, he's still out there.
All right. Sammy, bring this one up from Paul Peters, please. He says, I bet the dude that has a subscription to
What in the world?
Okay. On that note, man, we're going to get to final thoughts. Chris, since you're the new guy, you're a permanent guy now. Final thoughts, baby.
It don't have to be football related, just a reminder.
Oh,
but
sure.
it can't be
I wasn't going to tell you about my extreme love of gummy bears, but no. But I mean, it's honestly, we are going into the first week of the season. I think, like I said, speculation is going to be out the window. I mean, we're going to see what the product looks like, within the next week and a half. So let's try not to tear each other's heads off in the meantime. Just talking about it because honestly, we have to see what goes out there. If we go and beat Houston, who is supposed to be the new up and coming team, and let's just say we smack them around, I think everybody's going to feel a lot differently in regards to the team, myself included. But let's just keep our expectations to ourselves and just, like I said, just root for the team. Like, let's not get too crazy out here, people.
All right, cheese porn.
Oh my goodness. Just guys, we're 10 days, almost 9 days away from season, which means tailgate season is also about to start. The RV is coming along very well. The motor will be back here in just a couple of days, if not a day. And it's going to be great. It's going to be looking good. It's going to be looking sharp. It's going to be running right. So we can bring the Forge completely to you all on game day in Touchdown Town in front of Lucas Oil Stadium, baby. We're going to have great food, a great time, great drinks. Just be ready to be loud. Be ready to be proud of your Indianapolis Colts. It's going to be a fun season, especially week one. Shout out to the Traveling Texans who were hosting at our tailgate. Can't wait to see everybody. Great fan base. Even though they're a rival, they're a bunch of great human beings, regardless of who they like. So we're looking forward to seeing them as well. And we're just looking forward to the season, baby. It's getting here.
Big facts.
I'm going to piggyback on a little bit of what Chris said and a comment that Adam J said. He said something about it, week one, we need to get loud, we need to get proud. Chris kind of hit on that too. So what's the best way we can cheer that or help this team win? Positive energy.
Mm-hmm.
Loud. Positive energy. That's what we do.
The offense is on the field, though.
Yes. Did we not forget Peyton Manning's instructions? There you go. So, even if you're at home, bring that positive energy. I guarantee it reaches that field.
Mm-hmm.
So, like Adam says, like Chris says, let's get loud. Let's cheer this team on. Let's bring all.
Pat McAfee is deemed with the loud house.
There you go, baby. All right. And the last comment, Teresa says, great show, guys. Welcome to the Anvil family, Chris.
Glad to be here. Appreciate every single last one of y'all. And yeah, let's just make it happen, man. This is awesome. And season's coming up, so yeah, we're gonna be screaming Colts every single week.
There you go, baby. Now, on that note, we out of here. Go Colts.
Go Colts, baby.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast and Bill Show on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.